Hello students, welcome to the numerical session pertaining to fuel air cycles. Derive an expression for the change in entropy of 1 kg of gas in terms of temperature T1 and T2 before and after compression if the law of compression is P into V raised to power n is equal to constant and the specific heats are of the form Cp is equal to A plus Kt and Cv is equal to B plus Kt. Now, from the first law of thermodynamics, we know that, which is true for the closed systems, del Q is equal to du plus del W. Or on unit mass basis, we can write on the form of del Q is equal to du plus del W, where Q, U and W are written in small letters. Now del Q is equal to Cv dt plus P dV. Now dividing both sides by T, we get del Q upon T is equal to Cv dt plus P upon T into dV. Now Cv can be substituted by B plus Kt. So in the last equation, that is equation number 1, we get ds is equal to B dt upon T plus K dt plus P upon T dV. Assuming the gas to be an ideal gas, the state equation can be written as PV is equal to RT. Differentiating it on both sides, we get PdV plus VdP is equal to RdT. And the law of compression is P into V raised to power n is equal to constant. So differentiating this term on both sides, we get Pn Vn raised to power n minus 1 into dV plus V raised to power n into dP is equal to 0. Now we get nPdV is equal to minus VdP as equation number 3. So from equation number 2 and 3, we get PdV minus nPdV is equal to RdT. So finally we get PdV is equal to RdT upon 1 minus n. Substituting these values in equation number 1, we get ds is equal to B dt upon T K dt plus R dt upon 1 minus n into T. So integrating this equation, we get final result as S2 minus S1 is equal to B minus R upon n minus 1 into log to the base e of T2 upon T1 plus K into T2 minus T1, and substituting the value of R is equal to A minus B, we get this final result as shown on the slide by the last expression. What will be the effect of the efficiency of an Otto cycle having a compression ratio of 8 if Cv increases by 1.6%? Now the expression of air standard efficiency of Otto cycle is given by 1 minus 1 upon R raised to power gamma minus 1. Now Cp minus Cv is equal to capital R, gas constant, Cp upon Cv is equal to gamma, and gamma minus 1 is equal to capital R upon Cv. Now efficiency term neta is equal to 1 minus 1 upon small r raised to power capital R upon Cv. Now 1 minus neta is equal to small r raised to power minus capital R upon Cv. Now this gives the expression natural log of 1 minus neta is equal to minus capital R into natural log of small r upon Cv. Now differentiating both the sides, we get the expression for the change in efficiency per unit original efficiency as shown by the expression on the slide. The third expression is the expression that we have obtained finally. Now we obtain the value of air standard efficiency by putting the value of compression ratio, that is equal to 8, and we get the value 56.5%. Now in the above expression, that is third equation shown on the slide, we put the values of all the parameters, that is the compression ratio and the air standard efficiency and the ratio of specific heats. All after putting all the values, we get the value is equal to minus 1.025. This is basically the change in air standard efficiency per unit original air standard efficiency. What will be the effect on the efficiency of a diesel cycle having a compression ratio of 20 and a cutoff ratio is 5% of the swept volume? If CV increases by 1%, take CV is equal to 0.717 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin and R is equal to 0.287 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin. By the first equation on the slide, we have shown the expression for the air standard efficiency of diesel cycle. Now we rearrange the terms and take logarithm of both the sides. As we know that gamma minus 1 is equal to R upon CV, so gamma is equal to 1 plus R upon CV, and we will substitute this value for gamma in the expression shown above on the next slide. So we substitute the value of gamma in the equation and then we differentiate it on both sides. So we get the expression for the change in air standard efficiency per unit original efficiency as shown by the last expression on the slide. So now we simplify the expression given for the change in air standard efficiency per unit original efficiency and substitute the values of the parameters required. The value of gamma is 1.4. The compression ratio, which is equal to V1 upon V2, is equal to 20, and the cutoff occurs at 5% of the swept volume. So this means V3 minus V2 is equal to cutoff percentage divided by 100 into Vs. So this will give the value of V3 in terms of V2, and that is coming out to be 1.95 V2. Now the cutoff ratio, which is basically ratio of V3 and V2, comes out to be 1.95. Now putting this value of cutoff ratio along with the value of gamma and compression ratio, we get the value of air standard efficiency of diesel cycle equals to 0.649. Now putting all the required parameters in the expression for the change of efficiency per unit original efficiency, we get the value of minus 0.565. It means that there is decrement in the value of air standard efficiency with the variation in value of CV. The following particulars relate to a diesel cycle: compression ratio 18, cutoff 5% of stroke, mean specific heat CV for cycle is 0.71 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin, characteristic gas constant 0.285 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin. Knowing that specific heat increases with temperature, if the specific heat for the air standard cycle increases by 2%, determine the percentage change in the air standard efficiency. Now as it is given that cutoff is 5% of the stroke, so we write as V3 minus V2 is cutoff percentage divided by 100 into Vs, that is swept volume. So by this we get the value of cutoff ratio equals to 1.85, and gamma, which is 1 plus R upon CV, it comes out to be 1.4. Now dCV by CV is 2 upon 100, as it was given that specific heat for the air standard cycle increases by 2%. So we have written dCV by CV is equal to 2 upon 10. Now efficiency of diesel cycle is given by the expression, and we calculate its value by putting the value of rho, gamma and R. The efficiency comes out to be 0.6387. Now the percentage variation in the air standard efficiency on account of variation of the value of CV is given by this expression, and it comes out to be minus 1.147, which shows that basically it is leading to the decrement of the value of air standard efficiency. The following particulars relate to petrol engine: compression ratio 7, calorific value of fuel used 44 megajoule per kg, air fuel ratio 15:1, the temperature and the pressure of the charge at the end of stroke is equal to 65 degrees Celsius and 1 bar, index of compression is equal to 1.33, the specific heat at constant volume is equal to 0.71 plus 20 into 10 to the power minus 5 T in units of kilojoule per kg per Kelvin when the temperature is in Kelvin. Determine the maximum pressure in the cycle. Compare this value with that of constant specific heat, that is Cv is equal to 0.71 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin. So we have drawn the cycle PV diagram and we have indicated both the processes, means 1, 2, 3, 4 will represent basically the cycle when constant specific heat is assumed, and 1, 2 dash, 3 dash, 4 dash are the points indicated for the cycle when the value of specific heat is variable. Now the compression process 1 to 2 is given by the governing equation P1 into V1 raised to power n is equal to P2 into V2 raised to power n. So this gives me the value of P2, that is coming out to be 13.3 bar. Now the gas laws can be applicable for any state. So P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to P2 V2 upon T2. So this gives me the value of T2, which is coming out to be 642.2 Kelvin. Now the combustion is taking place from point 2 to 3. So we want to find out the average temperature during combustion process, which we obtain by finding out the average of T2 and T3. Now we substitute this average temperature that we have obtained for the combustion process in the value of Cv, so that we can have the mean value of Cv. Now we assume 1 kg of fuel in the cylinder. Now as the air fuel ratio is 15:1, for 1 kg of fuel there will be 15 kg of air and the total charge will be 16 kg. Now for per unit charge the heat added will be 44,000 kilojoule divided by 16, that is 2750 kilojoule. Now del Q is equal to mass of charge into Cv into temperature difference. So basically we substitute the value of Cv mean obtained for the average temperature, and T2 is 642.2 Kelvin and del Q, which we have obtained just now, 2750. So we get an equation in terms of T3. So what we obtain? We obtain a quadratic equation with T3 as the variable. So we find out its solution, and the solution, the feasible solution, comes out to be 3163.5 Kelvin. Now process 2 to 3 is constant volume process, so P2 upon T2 is equal to P3 upon T3, and the value of P3 comes out to be 65.5 bar. Now for constant specific heat, we find out the value of P3, and that comes out to be 4514.4 Kelvin, and the value of P3 will be 93.5 bar. Combustion in a diesel cycle is assumed to begin at inner dead center and to be at constant pressure. The air fuel ratio is 27:1. The calorific value of the fuel used is 43 megajoule per kg, and the specific heat of the products of combustion is given by Cv is equal to 0.71 plus 20 into 10 raised to power minus 5 T, where T is the variable and the value of Cv has to be in kilojoule per kg per Kelvin. R for the products of combustion, that is the value of gas constant for the products is equal to 0.287 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin. If the compression ratio is 15:1 and the temperature at the end of compression is 870 Kelvin, find at what percentage of the stroke combustion is completed. Now we have drawn the PV diagram for the diesel cycle. Now for 1 kg of fuel the charge is 28 kg, because 1 kg of fuel and there will be 27 kg of air. So the heating value is equal to 43 megajoule per kg. Now del Q is equal to M into Cp dt. Cp is equal to Cv plus R. Now the heat on the left hand side, we are having the heat transferred divided by the mass of charge. We integrate on right hand side and we get the quadratic equation in the terms of T3. Now we solve it for the value of T3 and it comes out to be 2060 Kelvin. Now for the constant pressure process 2 to 3, we have V2 upon T2 is equal to V3 upon T3, or you can say V3 upon V2 is equal to T3 upon T2, and that comes out to be 2.37. Now we can say that combustion occupies at means we want to find out the point at which cutoff occurs. So that will be V3 minus V2 upon swept volume. So that comes out to be 9.78% of stroke. In an oil engine working on dual combustion cycle, the temperature and pressure at the beginning of compression are 90 degrees Celsius and 1 bar. The compression ratio 13:1. Heat supplied per kg of air is 1675 kilojoule, half of which is supplied at constant volume and other half at constant pressure. Now calculate the maximum pressure in the cycle. The percentage of stroke at which cutoff occurs. Now the given parameters are gamma for compression is equal to 1.4, R equals 0.287 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin, and Cv for the process of combustion is equal to 0.71 plus 20 into 10 to the power minus 5 T. Now we have drawn the PV diagram for dual combustion cycle. 1 to 2 process is reversible adiabatic compression, then 2 to 3 is heat addition at constant volume, then 3 to 4 is heat addition at constant pressure, then 4 to 5 is reversible adiabatic expansion, and 5 to 1 is heat rejection at constant volume. Now P2 is equal to P1 into V1 upon V2 raised to power gamma, that is equal to 1 into compression ratio raised to power 1.4, and this gives me the value of P2, that is equal to 36.3 bar. Now similarly we can obtain the value of temperature by knowing the relation between the temperature and the specific volume for an adiabatic process, which is given here, that is T2 is equal to T1 into V1 upon V2 raised to power gamma minus 1, and that gives me the value of temperature T2, that is 1013 Kelvin. Now during constant volume process 2 to 3, the heat transferred will be obtained by integrating Cv dt. So we obtain the expression for Cv dt by taking the limits T2 and T3. Now only half of 1675 kilojoule is the heat added during this constant volume process. So we have put it on the left hand side, and now we obtain a quadratic equation in the terms of T3, and by solving it we get the value of T3 equals to 1853 Kelvin. So the maximum pressure is obtained by the expression T3 upon T2 into P2, and this gives the value of P3 equals to 66.2 bar. Now Cp, which is equal to Cv plus R, has been obtained, 0.997 plus 20 into 10 raised to power minus 5 T. Now during constant pressure process 3 to 4, here also the heat added is half of the 1675 kilojoule, so we have put on the left hand side, and in Cp we have put the expression for the Cp that we have obtained on the last slide, and we are putting the limits of T3, that is 1853, and T4. So we obtain a quadratic equation in the terms of T4. After solving it, we get the value of T4 equals to 2440 Kelvin. Now V4 is equal to T4 upon T3 into V3, as 3 to 4 is constant pressure process. Now cutoff will be equal to V4 minus V3 upon swept volume, and swept volume is V1 minus V2. Now, as shown in the bracketed term, cutoff percentage can be obtained by V4 minus V3 upon Vs, and finally we have divided numerator and denominator by V3 term, and we obtain rho minus 1 upon R minus 1. So cutoff comes out to be 2.64 of stroke. An engine working on Otto cycle has compression ratio of 8. It uses hexane, that is C6H14 as fuel. The calorific value of the fuel is 44,000 kilojoule per kg. Air fuel ratio of the mixture is 13.8:1, and the pressure and temperature at the beginning of compression are 1 bar and 70 degrees Celsius respectively. If Cv equals to 0.716 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin and the compression follows the law P into V raised to power 1.35 is equal to constant, determine the maximum temperature and pressure reached in the cycle. A, without considering the molecular contraction, and B, considering molecular contraction. Now without considering the molecular contraction, now this gives me the value of stoichiometric equation as shown on the slide. Cxhy plus x plus y upon 4 O2 gives x CO2 plus y upon 2 H2O plus heat. This is the basically general equation for any hydrocarbon which is not containing any other compound other than carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So here, as you know that the value of x is 6, the value of y is 14. So basically we have checked the balancedness of the various components on left hand side and right hand side, means we have checked the balancedness of each and every element, whether it is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and when we are satisfied, we can say that basically this is stoichiometric or chemically correct equation. So now you can see 12 into 6 plus 1 into 14. This is the mass of hexane if 1 mole of hexane is burning. So per mole of hexane, it is having this much of mass, that is 12 into 6 plus 1 into 14. Now for this mass of hexane, you require 9.5 into 32 kilogram of oxygen. So now we want to find out that if this much of oxygen, that is 9.5 into 32 kg is the oxygen required to burn 12 into 6 plus 1 into 14 kilogram of fuel, then how much amount of air is required? And you know that by mass, oxygen present in air is 23%. So by knowing this fact, you can determine the value of air required. So that comes out to be 15.37. So it means for burning 1 kg of fuel, you require 15.37 kilogram of air. Now, as per the stoichiometry, the air fuel ratio obtained is 15.37, and the actual air fuel ratio given in the question is 13.8. So from this we can infer that the mixture that we are using is 11.4% rich in fuel. So the combustion will be incomplete and we will obtain the formation of carbon monoxide. Now we write a chemical equation in which we have assumed that CO2 is forming along with CO. So we have written the equation that we are having 1.114 moles of hexane, which is giving A moles of CO2 and B moles of CO and C moles of H2O on burning with oxygen, with 9.5 moles of oxygen. Now equating atoms of the same element before and after combustion, we get A plus B is equal to 1.114 into 6, 2C is equal to 1.114 into 14, and 2A plus B plus C is equal to 9.5 into 2. So by this we get A plus B is equal to 6.684, C is equal to 7.798, and 2A plus B plus C is equal to 19. So solving we get the value of A is equal to 4.52, B is equal to 2.16, C is equal to 7.8. Now we have added nitrogen on both sides and we get the actual combustion equation as given below. Now we know that number of moles is proportional to the volume of gas. Therefore, we know that in air 79% is that of nitrogen by volume and 21% is that of oxygen. So we can say that whatever amount of or whatever moles of oxygen will be there, nitrogen will be into 79 upon 21 times that of oxygen. So that is why I have written as number of moles of oxygen is 9.5, the number of moles of nitrogen will be 9.5 into 79 upon 21. So with this we have written this equation, and we know that nitrogen being unreacted, it will have the same number of moles formed on the product side also. Therefore, moles before combustion were 46.354, moles after combustion was 50.22. So it's not contraction, but we should say it's expansion. So we write molecular expansion in terms of percentage, and that comes out to be 8.35%. Now for the compression process 1 to 2, we have written the expression which is expressing that relation between temperature and volume, and we get the value of T2 as 710 Kelvin. Now the heat supplied during constant volume process will be Cv into T3 minus T2. Now here in the question we have been given 13.8 as the air fuel ratio. Now for the 1 kilogram of fuel assumed, we will have 13.8 kilogram of air. So the total amount of charge or mixture will be 14.8 kilogram. Now per unit charge or per unit mixture, we have 44,000 divided by 14.8 kilojoule per kg of the heat generated. So 44,000 divided by 14.8 is equal to 0.716 into T3 minus 710 that we have put. So this will give me the value of T3 is equal to 4862 Kelvin. Now when we are not considering molecular expansion, so we can say P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to P3 V3 upon T3, and this gives me the value of P3, which is equal to P1 into V1 upon V3 into T3 upon T1, and that comes out to be 113.4 bar. Now considering molecular contraction, since the mass of reactants and products is same and specific heats are assumed same, the temperature of the products with molecular expansion will remain same as without molecular expansion, only the pressure will change. Now PV is equal to nRUT, where N is number of moles, so we can say pressure is directly proportional to number of moles. So pressure with molecular expansion will be 122.87 bar. So now we have calculated pressure considering the molecular expansion also. So this is all for the numerical portion related to fuel air cycle.